Welcome to the Jerry and Jerry Show, guys. My name is Jerry Miller. Thank you kindly for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure to connect with you, Wahoo Nation, on the I Love CVille Network, on a show that spotlights a household name, Virginia Sports Hall of Famer, Jerry Hootie Ratcliffe. Goodness gracious, we have a lot to talk about, don't we? We have Ryan Odom and Virginia men's basketball off to a 1-0 start with an utter dismantling of Ryder. Yes, it's an out-of-conference game. Yes, it's a nondescript opponent. Still quite a bit to celebrate for Virginia and Ryan Odom. The head coach gets his first victory as big whistle, as Hootie likes to say, for Virginia men's basketball. Local standout Chance Mallory. Chance Mallory looked absolutely dynamite. Chance excitement, defensive quickness, creation off the dribble, hit 2 from bonus sphere. Chance Mallory looks like he is a star in the making. And how about the big man DeRitter? Goodness gracious, a double-double. DeRitter looks like an all-conference big man waiting to happen. We'll talk basketball. We're certainly going to chatter football first to start, as UVA and Tony Elliott have a clear path to the ACC Championship. Wake Forest on the docket Saturday night, a nationally televised game on ESPN. Virginia's a 6.5-point favorite. They're the 11th ranked team in one poll, the 12th ranked team in another poll, and they are the talk and toast of Charlottesville and beyond. Judah Wickhauer, the director and producer of the show. Judah, if you can go to the studio camera, my friend, and then a 2-shot as we welcome a man that needs no introduction. Still, it's my pleasure to do it anyway. Jerry Hootie Ratcliffe. Is it 51 ACC tournaments upcoming? 51.
Yeah, that would be right.
51. The man is aging like a fine wine, a $20,000 bottle of Merlot. He's freshly manicured. Look at the man's haircut. Always looking dapper in his rowback. The namesake of JerryRatcliffe.com. You're a busy man, Hootie Ratcliffe.
It's that time of the year, brother. Football and basketball going at the same time, and there's always other things that pop up and take time away. But yeah, it's an exciting time, but it's a very busy time.
We start each show with scatter shooting with Jerry Ratcliffe. You got football and basketball to talk about. You got multi-million-dollar anonymous donations, Cam Robinson to talk about. I mean, so much to cover, my friend.
It's crazy, and I've got more stories that I can write. I'm going to have to write like 5 stories a day to catch up, I think. But yeah, it's been amazing. And you know, the real poll comes out tonight when the college football playoffs poll, official poll, comes out. I guess it's on ESPN, and it'll be interesting to see what the committee thinks of Virginia's success, and if they're in the field, because that's who determines who goes to the playoffs outside of the teams themselves. And it'll be an exciting time for Wahoo fans if they are in that 12-team field.
I would think they got to be in the 12-team field.
You would think so.
I mean, you're 11 in one, 12 in the other. You're unblemished in a power conference and have a clear path to the ACC Championship. NC State helped Wahoo Nation out considerably with a beatdown of Georgia Tech.
I was stunned by that.
Me too. I watched that game with a couple of cold ones by my side, and NC State played shorthanded.
Yeah, Hollywood Smothers, their ACC leading rusher running back, was injured, didn't play, and this other guy comes out of nowhere. What was his name? Duke Scott?
Yeah.
And has almost 200 yards against Georgia Tech.
Looked like the college football version of Jerome Bettis.
It's unbelievable.
A bruiser.
Yeah.
And their quarterback, CJ, was playing on a basically like a peg leg pirate out there.
Seemed like it.
Banged up ankle.
Yeah.
And still they dismantled Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech played well offensively. They just could not stop anything defensively. We'll talk Virginia. Clear-cut path to the ACC Championship here, Hootie.
Yeah, I mean, their fate is in their own hands, and it starts this week with Wake Forest. And we've heard that Wake is beaten up, and I don't know. I haven't been able to confirm that. I keep looking for evidence and don't see it. But and they got manhandled by Florida State, who who had lost 9 straight conference games, and probably going to lose their coach at the end of the season. But after they beat SMU 13-12, I don't know how you do that and then turn around and get clobbered by Florida State, unless you do have a lot of injuries or turn the ball over a lot. I haven't looked much at that game, but and then Duke down in Durham, I still think is the one landmine in the road to the championship, as you pointed out. And then the Hokies here, you never know. You just never know. Even though they're not having a good year, it's still a rivalry game. And as Bill Dooley used to say, you can throw the records out the window, and he was always right.
Virginia, 6.5-point favorite, guys, against Wake Forest. We'll talk about that contest. We'll talk Cam Robinson, a 3-time ACC Linebacker of the Week. I'm going to ask Hootie Ratcliffe for the second straight week, is this the best player on the roster right here? This time, Cam Robinson seals a victory with a pick 6. And after reaching pay dirt, Cam Robinson has little choice words for the Cal cheerleaders. Which I thought was absolutely fantastic as a guy that likes to do some talking himself. James Madison is watching the program. James, you often comment on the show. Let us know where you're watching the program, James, and we'll give you some props. He says, hey, guys, I think the offense looked much better last week with Chandler not being so hesitant to run. What do you guys think? He also says, Cam Robinson, just a beast. Shame he had to miss those early season games. I also was thinking what could have been with Cam Robinson in that NC State match, that NC State outing. Hindsight is 2020. What do you make of James Madison's comments about the offense looking a little bit better?
Well, yeah, I mean, anytime your quarterback can become a runner, assuming he's talented, and Chandler Moore certainly is, that's a huge bonus for your offense, because unless they have a spy on him, there's nobody assigned to stop the quarterback. And so he can pick up tons of yardage, and Chandler's done a great job of that. And even though he's playing hurt with a bum shoulder, and I don't know how much pain, I'm sure he wouldn't confess to the media how much pain he might be in or might not be in, but he's definitely playing hurt. There's nothing shy of a worse injury that's going to keep him on the sideline or keep him from running the football. He's just, this is his 6th year of football. He came here he said, I didn't come from Texas to have a losing season. I want to win a conference championship, and I'll be darned if he hasn't put Virginia in position to do so. And he's just a tough kid, and I asked him about the toughness and I guess it was last week, and he didn't shy away from that. He said it's the way he was brought up, and that's the way he believes in playing football. So nothing's going to keep him on the sidelines or keep him from running the football. He did wisely slide once last week when it looked like he might
Please
take a
slide,
hit.
Chandler. Please slide, Chandler.
But that makes a giant difference in your offense when the quarterback can take off with it.
Virginia is 8-1 overall. So is Georgia Tech. They're both 8-1. However, UVA's 5-0 in conference play, unblemished. Georgia Tech 5-1 in conference play, unblemished. There's a log jam in the ACC with the one-loss teams.
5 teams.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, exactly right. Pittsburgh is 5-1. Georgia Tech's 5-1. Louisville Cardinal 4-1. SMU 4-1. Duke Blue Devils 4-1. Miami, shocking, surprising loss to go 500, 2-2 on the season, and what looks like to me on the outside, kind of looking in of the CFP and an ACC championship push. This past weekend couldn't have gone better for Virginia.
That's true. That's true. Miami losing to SMU like they did was a bit of a surprise, and especially after SMU lost to Wake, and then Georgia Tech getting shocked in Raleigh was amazing. Nobody's talking about Pitt.
Yeah, Pitt's good.
And I really haven't seen much of Pitt this year, so I don't know how good they are, but those guys can sneak up on you because they always have talent up there.
Pitt is outscoring teams this year 227 to 139. To put that into perspective, Georgia Tech 193 to 152 differential, and UVA the nail biting 172 to 122 differential. We're going to talk the Wake Forest game. We'll talk Cam Robinson. More of what you saw against Cal in that victory. What did you see that went well? What did you see that may concern you to close the year?
Well, I felt like the key going out there was going to get the running game going again, and because that had bogged down considerably. Some of it was because of injuries, but and some of it was because other teams had well scouted and tried to take certain things away from Virginia. But the fact that they were able to reestablish the run, and the offensive line did a better job of returning to its form now that it's seemingly healthy again. Getting Brady Wilson back and letting Drake Metcalf move back to right guard where he's more comfortable, and Josie and Mikael Boley seem to be in pretty decent health. They controlled the line of scrimmage for the most part and let Virginia's running backs do their thing. And they responded well, even though Xavier Brown is lost for the season. The other guys played very well. I thought that was the key in getting everything turned back around again. And the defense just continues to get better and better. And I think Rudzinski felt that they would once his secondary got acclimated to a new scheme and used to playing with one another. Because none of these guys had ever even met each other until after spring ball was completely over. That's when most of these guys came in, and it took a while to get everybody on the same page, communication-wise, and just to learn the system. But and Cal playing at home, they're trying to become bowl eligible.
100%.
They were 4-1.
Cal's not a terrible
They
team.
were 4-1 at
Yeah,
one time.
right.
And so they were sort of drawing a line in the sand too, trying to get bowl eligible and advance the program. But Virginia, you got to give Virginia credit. They went out there and played well and didn't make many mistakes.
Virginia superfan Sam watching the program. Sam the superfan, we love you, Sam. He says, "Go Cam, go Hoos, beat Wake Forest." Loves Cam Robinson and emojis across the board for the superfan. Renee Pettiford, guess what she wants to talk about?
Fashion.
Fashion and basketball.
Basketball.
Well said, Hootie Ratcliffe. It's a good thing we have you on set because you're fashionable and you know basketball inside and out. James Madison says he's watching in Mineral. We love that Louisa Lyon area. James, I will never ask you again where you're from. I will burn Mineral into my subconscious. And thank you kindly for watching the program. Vanessa Parkhill of Earlysville. I wish I could have seen the UVA Cal game, but unfortunately right now YouTube TV is having a major tiff, she says, with Disney and messing with her football viewing. A lot of people complaining about that.
Dan Patrick was complaining about that on national radio this morning on my drive over here.
A lot of people complaining about that. A lot of people having to go to Hulu Live to watch this game, which stinks because the last thing we need is added costs with the household budget and more of these publicly traded companies having leverage over us at a time when we're trying to stretch the dollar as far as possible.
Yeah, it's all about Disney wanting more money.
That's what it is. It's all about Disney, ladies and gentlemen, wanting more money. Comments continue to come in here. This one, gosh, Cam Robinson is all over the feed. And how could he not
should be?
Yeah, how could he not be? A 3-time ACC Linebacker of the Week. He secures a victory against Washington State with a safety. He secures a victory against Cal with a pick 6, and then either flirts or taunts the Cal cheerleaders. Either way, I loved seeing what Cam Robinson did.
He loves to talk.
He loves to talk. He loves to talk. Talk to us about Cam Robinson. Talk to us about what you're seeing from what looks like to me the best player on the roster, and certainly probably the best pro on the roster at least.
Yeah, right now he certainly is. And I mean, he has scored 14 points himself, essentially. But there hasn't been many linebackers around here like him, that's for sure. He can. There's nothing that he can't do. I mean, he can cover, he can rush the passer. He's a great tackler, a big hitter. He calls the defense. He can play sideline to sideline. He's just a complete player, and there's nobody in the country that wouldn't want to have Cam Robinson on their team. He's just a inspiration, I'm sure, to his teammates. I like the fact that he's a little feisty and doesn't mind talking it up, a little trash talking here and there.
Yeah,
and he can back it up. But he's just supremely confident in his abilities, and I'll never forget when early in the season when we talked to him and he was left off the preseason All ACC first team and second team, if I recall, meaning that there were 8 other linebackers picked ahead of him. That pissed him off, and he said, "We'll show him, and he is. To me, he's the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know who's having a better year than he is.
All right, 1,000% I could concur with you. Cam Robinson, you know what he reminds me of? The Al Groh era, Ahmad Brooks, Darrell Blackstock, when they had pros in that linebacking fleet that were instrumental in impacting the game. Ahmad Brooks, if memory serves correctly, had a fantastic stint with your San Francisco 49ers.
He did, yes.
Darrell Blackstock hopped around the National Football League over a handful of years. More Ahmad Brooks, more Darrell Blackstock, or who is he reminiscent of in your history book of UVA?
Those are good comparisons. He might be a little more mobile than either one of those two. I'm not sure there's anybody quite like him because of his ability to overall. He can do it all. Some of those other guys had maybe been better at some phases of the game, but not as good in others. So he's kind of unique in that respect. In that, if he has a weakness, I haven't seen it yet.
He is looking, ladies and gentlemen, like a high pick in the upcoming NFL draft. He's got scouts drooling for his upside and his potential. We'll talk Wake Forest. Comments coming in the feed about the running game and what your thoughts are on the running game's awakening against the Golden Bears.
Again, I thought that was a pivotal thing for Virginia, not only for the Cal game, but going forward. If they want to win out, they have to continue to control the line of scrimmage and run the football, because Chandler Morris is going to be able to throw it no matter what happens, but they need a running game to complement that and to help him. It takes some pressure off him, and it helps back off the linebackers and safeties and makes them respect every phase of the offense. And, Jamari Taylor has been incredible, and he had a really good game the other day. He didn't have the game-breaking runs that maybe we've been grown accustomed to early in the season, but he's still picking up good yardage. And then Harrison Whaley comes in and picks up some good yards, and Noah Vaughn is back, and I think he will continue to help the run game as well. So, and I thought a big difference was having Cam Ross back in the lineup, because he gives you such a threat, not only in the short and mid-range passing game, but he's a deep threat, and with his speed, anytime he touches the ball, he's a threat. There's no question about it.
This comment comes in, and this one's coming in from the Buckhead, Georgia area. We have a lot of viewers and listeners that are Wahoo fans that watch in the Buckhead, Georgia area. This is a great question for you. Hootie, love when they call you Hootie. We don't know much about Wake Forest. This football team seems one that is not to overlook. How does he characterize the matchup against the Demon Deacons? Is this a trap game?
A little bit, but Wake is been so up and down this year. I thought they were going to be terrible, but the new coach has come in and they've been pretty good at times this year. And like I said, they beat SMU 13-12, and that's no easy task because SMU has a solid football program. And then they turned around and got walloped by Florida State, which was a surprise to me after beating SMU that they would lose a game like that, and especially in that fashion. What was it, 42-7, or I believe the score was?
I'll confirm that for you.
But again, I'm hearing reports that they're really beaten up, so maybe that had a great influence on the outcome. But I haven't been able to gather any evidence about that at this point. I haven't talked to any of my Wake Forest people this week. I've been so busy with basketball and Virginia football, I haven't had the opportunity to explore that. But if that's the case, then that would explain why. But it's a night game here. There's plenty of momentum. I really don't think it's a trap game. I think it's a game that Virginia should be able to go out and get off to a good start early and go on and win. But I think the game that looms heavy to me is the game at Duke the following week, because Duke is solid, and you can't take them for granted. They are a good football team, and they're playing at home.
Wake Forest is 5-3 overall, 2-3 in conference play, 42-7 loss. You're right. To Florida State in Tallahassee. The Demon Deacons beat up Virginia Tech. They went to Oregon State and won. They beat SMU 13-12 to hand the Ponies their only loss. SMU is 6-3, 4-1 overall. We'll talk Wake Forest, where Virginia is a 6.5-point favorite and riding a 7-game winning streak. A night game on national television, ESPN.
Yeah.
For Virginia football. Got to give Tony Elliott some props and praise. This coaching staff is humming. Elliott's got a lot of people talking his name right now. We'll give Tony Elliott some love.
Yeah, well, right now, if he's not the prime candidate for ACC Coach of the Year, I don't know who would be. But he's done an incredible job with this team, and he keeps pushing the right buttons. He's been really good at motivating the team and if keeping them from getting too high and talking to them a lot about success and how to handle a top 15 ranking and a winning streak and undefeated in the conference. And he's been through all that as an assistant for Dabo Swinney for all those years, and so he's been around greatness. He's been in part of 2 national championships and played for others, and I thought it was really smart that I haven't really talked to him about if it was his plan or not, but he's brought in some guys into this program who have national championship caliber experience from Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame, even JMU, who's been very successful across the mountain. And a lot of those guys have been around incredibly high-profile, high-winning programs, played in big games, and they can share some of that knowledge with these other players too. And so off the field, I think they're they've approached things. I don't see how you could approach them any better.
Hootie, this Wake Forest matchup, more keys to the game: run the football, run the football, run the football.
Yeah, it's as simple as that, and I'm sure Wake Forest will try to take some of that away, and that's why Chandler Morris is here. If you gang up in the box, either he's going to take off and make you pay, or he's going to throw it and make you pay. He can hurt you either way. And I was reading something about him the other day, and I didn't realize this. When he was at TCU before he got hurt, when they beat Baylor early in the season that year, and TCU went on and played in the national championship game, he was hurt and didn't get to finish the season, I don't think. But against Baylor that year, he threw in that one game, Jerry. He threw for 461 yards and 4 touchdowns in one game. This guy
is a stud.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a stud.
Unleash him, right?
Yeah. And it's no, the film's out. It's no secret that with Chandler Morris, he's extremely dangerous out of the pocket. If I'm a defensive coordinator and I see Chandler Morris on my schedule, my game plan is keep this man contained in the pocket. Because when the pocket breaks down, the play breaks down, and he's able to get, especially when he's rolling right, his most comfortable rolling right, the guy is an option to run. He's an option to throw. He does a great job with the ball fakes to keep defenders, especially linebackers and safeties, frozen. He understands where everyone is on the field. He's got an arm that I think is on. Every aspect of Chandler Morris, for some reason, is underrated. People don't realize that this guy is quicker than what he appears. His arm is stronger than it appears. His IQ is probably his best asset. He understands where everyone is clearly on the football field. He does a great job of distributing the football. If they can get back to establishing Taylor in the run and playing smash mouth football, it's just going to make him better because it's going to force defenses to honor the run and think run first, which is going to give Chandler extra time to be dynamite and dynamic. Comments are coming in quicker than I can keep up with. That's why
another thing I like about him is when he does, like you said, when he's sprinting out and things break down a little bit, and sometimes he'll wait until he's almost at the line of scrimmage or at the last second he'll find somebody downfield. It's because all the good quarterbacks do this. When he's on the run, he's still looking downfield to see who might come open instead of just putting his head down and trying to pick up yardage.
The only 100%, and the only knock I have on Chandler Morris this entire season is not protecting his body. And I get that he has a gunslinger mentality, and there's times where you have to risk the hit. I'm a Jaden Daniels guy with the Commanders. I just saw my quarterback, the face of the franchise, dislocated elbow, out for the rest of the year. And Washington's hopes are in the toilet now. Chandler Morris has got to realize that he is the Jaden. They're basically the same age. That he's the.
They are the same age.
They are days apart, Chandler Morris and Jaden Daniels, which is wild to me. That he's the Jaden Daniels of UVA. He's just got to keep himself safe. And he's got a lot of football to play. I mean, because you figure you got Wake Forest, you have Duke, you have Virginia Tech, you have an ACC Championship, and a bowl game.
Yeah.
So he's still got 5 games left on the schedule. Comments coming in. This one from Rob Neal. He's a diehard JMU fan. Rob Neal is a JMU alum. Got to give props to Rob Neal. The Dukes look fantastic per usual. Are you going to lose another head coach here, Rob Neal? Is that what's going to happen as your head coaches get poached? He says, I believe I said Virginia wins at least 8 games back in August on the Jerry and Jerry show. What a great season of finishing games. Fourth quarter swagger and confidence is such a powerful thing in college football. Confidence is the secret weapon of athletics, and Virginia is overflowing with confidence right now. Jeremy Wilson's watching in Eastern Tennessee. A top 10 ranking on the horizon was unimaginable at the beginning of the season. I will be the first to eat crow with Virginia football. I said, how are they going to get to 6 games, 6 wins with this schedule? And they've proven me absolutely wrong, ladies and gentlemen. This comment comes in here. When does the talk start about Tony Elliott being a front runner for any of these other jobs?
I've mentioned it a few times, and people have given me some grief for it. But there's 12 or 13 jobs open already, and there's going to be more. Somebody's got to fill those positions, and you can't tell me that ADs out there aren't looking for somebody who has a pedigree like Elliott, who was part of those Clemson teams. Tennessee was interested in him when he was a year or two before he came to Charlottesville. Duke was interested in him when they hired the guy that ended up at A&M, and it was Virginia and Duke essentially, and a guy who has turned this football program around from the doldrums of 3 losing seasons in a row, and
who also helped the program recover from a triple murder.
Yeah, exactly, and I can't imagine anybody handling that situation better than Tony Elliott did. He runs a clean program. His players don't get in trouble.
Who's been in a lot of ways, either the face, maybe instrumental is hyperbole, but certainly the face of a $30 million roster, roughly $30 million roster here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't look at Virginia Tech. They struggled to raise that money.
Yeah.
With their football roster, with Brent Pry, Tony Elliott. Now the alumni is different, UVA and Virginia Tech, and frankly speaking, Tony Elliott, who's going to be the ACC Coach of the Year. Right? Tony Elliott, who should be playing in an ACC championship.
Very well could.
That's a lot of resume boosters there.
It really is. And, you can't tell me that some of these ADs aren't going to take a long look at him. And you can't say you can't predict what they're going to do because it's their own life, and they have life decisions to make. But he has such a strong bond with Carla Williams and this program. I don't think he would take another job unless somebody throws money at him just silly money.
Right.
But that could happen.
That could happen.
Happen.
And guys, anything is possible.
Yeah.
Tony Bennett resigns how many days before the season starts? A couple of weeks?
Yeah, just a few weeks.
A couple of weeks before. Brian O'Connor shocks us all and heads to the Southeastern Conference. Anything can happen. And look at the ACC alone. In the Atlantic Conference alone, Virginia Tech has an opening. Who knows what's going to happen with debut in Clemson and Death Valley. Florida State most certainly looks like it's going to have an opening.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick has played barely half a season, and he's on the hot seat. North Carolina, guys, is 3-5, 1-3 in conference, and that's just in the ACC.
Yeah.
I mean, if the LSU's got an opening, Freeze got fired at Auburn, right?
Oh yeah.
It's
Oklahoma State,
South Carolina. Shane Beamer just relinquished the defensive coordinator responsibilities of his DC.
Offensive coordinator.
Or offensive coordinator, yeah, excuse me, offensive coordinator.
Mike Shula.
They're underachieving. Don Shula, Mike's son. I mean, look at the opening. They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're all across the country. UCLA, there's so many of them, it's hard to keep up with them. But like I said, there's going to be some more before the season's over, or at least when the season is over. So, yeah, you can't. It's a different time in sports, particularly college sports, and a lot of unpredictable things happen. And who knows if somebody comes in and throws a $10 or $11 million a year deal at you, it's hard to say no. I don't care how secure or loyal you are.
The Florida State football fan Kevin Yancey, who likes to be a bear, says, "Let's be real, fellas. UVA is 30 seconds and 14 points from a 5-4 overall record. I push back on Kevin Yancey by saying, look, Virginia football's finding a way to win. And I push back by talking a little smack. How about 4-4 Florida State and 1-4 in conference play Seminoles?
Good teams find ways to win.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's an
These
old
were the
axiom.
games we were losing.
That's an old axiom that will always be true. And I mean, there's been a lot of really good teams that have won national championships that have won a lot of close football games. I remember the year that Alabama won on a miracle play at Auburn to keep their season alive for the playoffs. And I think they went on to win the national championship. But sometimes you got to be lucky, and sometimes you got to create your own luck, and that's what they've done.
I mean, Cam Robinson with the pick six, Cam Robinson with the safety against Washington State. That's creating your luck.
Yeah.
That is figuring out a way to win, Kevin Yancey. And again, and it's just friendly banter back and forth here, the Seminoles here at 4-4 and 1-4 in conference play may be in the talk of the biggest disappointment in the ACC. I mean, I'll ask you that question. What's the biggest disappointment in the Atlantic Coast Conference right now? Is it 3-5, 2-4 Clemson? Is it 4-4, 1-4 Florida State? I mean, I don't think it's Syracuse. They lost their starting quarterback with the knee injury. Yeah. Virginia Tech is at 3-6, 2-3 Hokies. I mean, what is the biggest disappointment? Is it North Carolina?
Yeah, well, I'm not stunned at Virginia Tech. A lot of people thought they were going to have a tough year, but North Carolina is a big disappointment because they invested $59 million to become the NFL's 33rd team, which is still kind of laughable because I keep hearing just terrible things about Mike Lombardi, their general manager, who people who know him and have known him continue to say that he's pretty much a fraud and not very well liked on the Chapel Hill campus. But still, it was an experiment. Nobody knew how it was going to go. I guess the Clemson and Florida State are really neck and neck for the biggest disappointment because a lot of people, and maybe all of us, we didn't do enough homework on Florida State because, I mean, they were horrible the year before. We're 2-11, and for them to turn around and people thinking that they might win the national championship or at least be in it, you just don't turn around from 2-11 to become a national power overnight.
Well, we got bamboozled with the Alabama victory, the victory over Alabama.
Yeah, and I think that was more Alabama dropping the ball than it was Florida State outplaying them. And then Clemson, I mean, nobody envisioned that coming. And the fact that you got beat, 46-45 by Duke last Saturday, and I understand it was a controversial play that cost Clemson the game and got Dabo fined by the ACC for his comments, and apparently he doubled down on those comments last night and said he stands by what he said, criticizing the officials for making the worst call that he's seen in his career. I didn't see the play. I'm going to have to go back and look at it, but the fact that they just haven't been able to beat hardly anybody is shocking to me. Because we know they have the talent on board. They just, for some reason, it just hasn't meshed.
He's got a press conference with Tony Elliott at 11:30. It's 10:57, so we got 2.5 minutes here. We got to get to basketball here. And Vanessa Parkhill pushes back on Kevin Yancey and says, "Hey, Kev, UVA is one play away from being undefeated."
That's right.
That's one way I look.
One play.
Yeah, one play away. A Chandler Morris misread in the end zone, or maybe adjusting how he threw the football in the end zone, and Virginia's undefeated, ladies and gentlemen. Last night, John Paul Jones Arena, you were there. Talk to us about the Virginia win over Rider.
Yeah, it was a not very impressive first half. Virginia was ahead by 10, 42-32, which is still probably Virginia fans getting a little surprised, getting used to this pace because there were I remember so many games over the previous 15 years where there'd be 5 or 6 minutes left in the game, and Virginia would be hitting 42 points, and they're already at 42 and a half for the third game in a row, even though the other two were exhibitions. But they weren't shooting the ball well. They were 2 of 19, I think, in the first half from three-point line, and not making their free throws either. And even some of their 2-point tries weren't that impressive. And so Ryan Odom had a talk with them at halftime and reassured them that, we're not taking Virginia shots. We're not taking the best shots. We're just taking shots. And he said, come on, we're all good shooters here. Let's make better decisions with the ball and take better shots. They did in the second half. They shot 55% in the second half and almost 55% from the three-point line, and ran away with it from Ryder, beat them 87-53, and it could have been worse. He called the dogs off, but really impressed with the front court, how physical it is, and I think in the long run that's going to be the difference in this team and how far it goes, is how good this front court continues to perform. Testy Ritter, 21 points, 10 rebounds. Grunlow had a good night. Ugana playing some good minutes. But one of the guys that impressed me as much as anybody else was our hometown guy.
He's my new favorite player.
Chance Mallory.
I told my wife last night he's my new favorite player.
Yeah, he's a whole lot of people's new favorite player.
He's unbelievable. I love how he plays.
He's a feisty kid. I've gotten to know him a little bit, and I'm telling you, man, he's going to be a difference maker.
He plays basketball like we would want like our sons and daughters to play.
Yeah.
He plays with motor and wants to outwork people and goes baseline to baseline. And he plays with grit and tenacity.
No fear.
Doesn't take plays off. No fear. That play, and it didn't work to his favor, when he dove in front of the Virginia bench off the baseline, he got the whole Virginia bench to stand up, and one of the coaches went to go pick him up.
Yeah.
It was all, he hit the 2 3-pointers, and it was it was far from capacity at the John Paul Jones Arena because it was Ryder. But those back-to-back threes, the place erupted for him.
It did.
This man clearly looks like he's the fan favorite already, and he's 1 game in.
Yeah. I mean, you can't help but to like the kid. He's just such a, I don't know, his excitement and his glow is.
It's a zest for life.
It is. It's a zest for life. That's a great way to describe it. And
it's contagious.
It's contagious, and you can feel it anytime you're around him.
I felt it through the TV.
Yeah.
Like literally watching it last night against Ryder of all teams, and I was excited.
Yeah. I mean, he was 3 of 4. Didn't take that many shots, but 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Yeah, he just hustles all the time, and when that press that Ryan Odom likes to play, it's going to be successful if nothing else, just because of Chance Mallory, because he's got that down. And when they put him in to do that, he gave the team a lift in that specific category and made a big difference. And I mean, the kid is just something else, and he's got incredible range. A lot of people say, "Oh, he's only 5'9", he can't do," but he was shooting NBA 3-pointers as a junior at St. Anne's, and because their coach told me they put down the 3-point line tape in the gym, and he was hitting them from beyond the 3-point range. So there doesn't seem to be anything that he can't do. And he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and that makes him even tougher to beat.
Well said. Fantastic scouting report from Hoodie Ratcliffe. All right, closing thoughts. 11:03, you got Tony Elliott. You got a presser with Tony Elliott.
Yeah, we'll find out all about Wake Forest, and and get the lowdown, any updates on Virginia. I think they came out of the game the other day with a few sprained ankles, but nothing, I don't think any more serious than that. So I think they should be in pretty good health for the Deacons coming to town.
Jerry Ratcliffe, guys, Virginia Sports Hall of Famer, namesake of JerryRatcliffe.com. He's got a fantastic podcast, Jerry Ratcliffe, that I've listened to on 2 occasions with Jeff Jones. If you want to get inside basketball, the podcast on JerryRatcliffe.com with Jeff Jones is sensational. Anything UVA related on JerryRatcliffe.com. The true MVP of our team is the man who gets no FaceTime. It's Judah Whitcower behind the camera, the Elmer's glue of this team. I sincerely mean that. Judah Whitcower, the director and producer of the show. The I Love CVille show is up at 11:30. JerryRatcliffe.com. With this press conference in 26 minutes, you may see a guy hauling ass across town, and that's Jerry Ratcliffe right there.
Please get out of my way.
please get out of his way. Thank you kindly for joining us. So long, everybody. Nicely done.
Yeah, I swear.